Good morning. It is Sunday, August 22nd, and I'm going to do a garden tour if I remember how to do garden tours. It's very bright, but a lot has changed. So, this is one of Huw Richard's hoodies. Last week, I was wearing one of Serena's from You Can't Eat the Grass. I'm in Sweden. This is one of the best ways I can support them is like buying their merch and letting people know that they're awesome and comfy. It has weird pockets. It's like half pockets. But other than that, it's super awesome and comfy. And Huw Richards is like super permaculture. And this one just says diversity equals abundance. I took down half of this was super broken. And so I hacked this together. I need to repair it a little bit. But my sweet potatoes are still in there, my weird little tower, and then this gave us more space on the deck. And we do have some tomatoes coming up. Oh, it doesn't look great right now, but it also doesn't look that terrible. And it's keeping the rain off of the sweet potatoes because those buckets don't have drainage. Chickens are over there and happy. I should have pulled the hose up, but that's okay. So these are either the Bambinos or they are the Curries. I don't know which, but they're very similar pumpkins. I think they're the red curries, and they've been really prolific. And so they're just coming out of the squash patch, and I've trained them this way, and hopefully they'll make it all the way up the arbor. We'll see. These, I hope, are spaghetti squash. But they are getting, we've got a little bit of powdery mildews, but they're getting absolutely enormous. So, I also planted a variety of squash that was supposed to be harvested young. And they look like immature spaghetti when they're small. So hopefully those aren't the ones I'm supposed to harvest young. I've harvested one of those and used it as a spaghetti squash, and it was delicious. So either way, it'll be fine. Chaos. I transplanted out all of the stuff that was just on the deck out here and weaved these through. So we should have a little bit more stability for our tomatoes. Then, yeah, it's working out. This is dead, and I'm going to have to take this down next week. But there's water spinach and New Zealand spinach and some beets and a red cabbage and some other chaos and volunteers. So there's food in there. This might be the funniest thing in the world because it fell over. It's still alive and happy, but it's sitting on top of cabbages and beets, and the grass is losing its mind. But this Brussels sprout has sprouts on sprouts on sprouts on side shoots and sprouts. So it's just an enormous and hilarious plant that is just very happy in here. So I'm letting it be happy in there, and it is a monster. But that and these were all started at the same time, and just growing outside versus growing with this little protection, very, very, very different outcome. Yeah, just like we're getting sprouts, we're gonna have food, but it's not as funny as what's happening in there. We have blackberries, green beans, pumpkins, and cucumbers. Yeah, these are market more. It's my first time growing market mores, but I've been very impressed with them. The flavor's really good. The size is really good. Yeah. These are ground cherries, so they're just starting to flower now. This is chaos and wild nonsense that I need to come maintain. More of the market more cucumbers. This is a cauliflower I transplanted out. It's starting to head up. I believe this is an express cabbage. So, yeah, we should get food there, which would be nice. A beet hidden in a sweet potato bag. That's just an IKEA bag. Volunteer Jerusalem artichoke about to open up and flower. I don't mind them as flowers. The promise of future pumpkins. So this is just wild chaos. And I don't know if you can see back there, but there is a very large pumpkin just growing at the base of the hot compost, which I can no longer get to. But that one, I believe, is an ambar pumpkin, but it's like 3 times the size of the other ones that I've harvested off this vine, which is kind of amazing. And we'll hopefully make delicious pumpkin curry. That's my plan for it. Yeah, these express cabbages that I transplanted out are doing okay. We should actually get some food. And then I put some carrot seeds in here. So in between, and there's some sorrel and weeds and stuff, but we're starting to get more food. Just more and more food all the time. All right, the dangerous journey through the pumpkin patch, because it's a very silly thing that I've done to myself. Yeah, powdery mildew. We just had so much rain. And yeah, I'm pretty sure these are red curry. And they're very close. Like, I might need to harvest those this week. This is an asparagus frond. So there's asparagus down there that I forgot and planted over. It's fine. More Brussels sprouts, all from the same original planting. Mystic green beans, that are these purple ones. They're very tasty. The green beans here, these are the orca beans, so I'm not harvesting those until they're done. They're supposed to be bush variety, and they are shelling beans. They're the ones that are little black and white, so they should be pretty. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I've never grown them before, and I don't know that we'll get a very good harvest, but if we do, I will figure out something awesome and pretty to make with them. I have fennel over there that looks like it's about to bolt, so we should harvest that. This one I let bolt so that we could harvest the seeds, and it looks like some of the seeds have dropped already from here, or maybe birds came and ate them. But yeah, if that is the case, I will get volunteer fennel. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have volunteer fennel over here, which I'm not mad about that. Free food, no effort, much healthier plants. It's all good for me. Clumsy. Good morning, chicks. Yeah. Wait. So, round 2 planting of corn is just starting to tassel. So that's a good sign. We might have corn. These are my paste tomatoes, the San Marzanos. I took a sucker, put it in here a couple months ago, and now it's just growing tomatoes in the corn and using the corn as a trellis structure. There's also a cucumber in here using the corn as a trellis structure. This is a Waltham butternut squash. This is a Waltham butternut squash. The goal was for it to take over. These are perennial chives that I started from seed. I just threw a packet of seed down here like 3 years ago, and that happened. These are smoked one, wild strawberry, my best cauliflower growing in the shade of the corn. And then I transplanted out some Black Magic, Kale, and Nero de Toscana that I had started in the house when I pulled the rest of the corn out. So hopefully these will get bigger and fine and not completely overrun by slugs, but they're not doing great right now. They're doing okay, but like the birds come after this stuff, and that's the most exposed. So it does not surprise me that it's not looking the best. I know you want your breakfast, you hungry hippos. It's fine. And it looks like we got some frost last night, which is just wrong. It got down to 8 Celsius, which is like 45 or something like that. So yeah, I need to pull these bean plants. They're spent. There's one cucumber on this. I'm trying to let it be because I have no idea what kind it is. These are all looking happier now. Blueberries are starting to ripen. A couple more days and those will be ready. Pretty sure that's a giant slug back there. So, yeah. So more mystic beans, more squash. There's a spaghetti squash growing in the tree, which is really funny. But yeah, powdery mildew. I need to come out here and treat that. I cut all the powdery mildew off of this plant, but the spaghetti squash in the back, like, it's just too hard to get to, and I harvested one big one off that, and I have enough in the back that if it dies, I'm okay with that. Yeah, tomatoes. But yeah, these are very pretty. Hopefully we'll actually get some of these. Oh, it's been such a weird year. This coriander is completely dried out, but it keeps raining, so I haven't been harvesting it because I'm afraid it's going to mold a little bit. So I'm waiting for like a warm, dry day in order to get that. This is some curly kale. Some of these things are doing really, really well. These are all the volunteer raspberries. So they've set off runners from there, and I've been digging them up and retransplanting them into the row. So I'm waiting for winter to do that for this. What else? Cherokee purple tomatoes. I don't remember. I think this is a sucker from a Cherokee purple that I stuck in here. But I just trained it up the soup when it got bigger. But yeah, I need to come through and clean up a bunch of these beans because they are done. They're from earlier in the season. So that makes sense. I don't know what this is. I thought it was a rutabaga. But if it is, it's like bolted and made it very weird. And it looks nothing like that one. So I don't know. It's my first year trying to grow rutabaga. And I'm not getting roots. I'm just getting these very tall plants. And so I don't know if I got like a bad package of seeds or I just don't have the right fertilizer component or I'm not growing it well. But they're not really doing what I want them to do. It's okay. We're still getting raspberries. We'll continue to get raspberries till our first hard freeze. Which, yeah, I wish I knew what this variety was. I have no idea because it's just a plant. I got these 2 plants from my neighbor from their yard several years ago. Yeah. Cucumbers, more cucumbers, growing up the raspberries, carrots, you know, the normal stuff. The tomatoes in buckets are working. The kids love them. Slugs and things are attacking the brassicas up here. It's fine. That's why I plant too many. Army worms, banes of existences. They will come in and they will eat every inch of your plant and eat the growing tip and ruin the sadness of things. So, yeah, go outside and check your plants because those guys will decimate your crops. And this might be gross. Sorry for people who don't like when bugs get killed. But yeah, and then yeah, there's definitely some like down deep inside. Yep, nice squishy. But yeah, I think I got them all. Sorry, didn't mean to like become a caterpillar assassin just there. I was coming over here because I don't know what this plant is. I thought it was cauliflower, but I think the bigger it gets, the more likely this is one of the perennial kales I tried to plant. I started a bunch of different varieties, Petland bred cottagers, the walking stick kale, right, and 1,000 head kale. And I think it's more likely that this is one of the perennial kales that I planted and I just forgot because I don't label things because I'm a bad person, rather than this being a cauliflower that is a mutant and strange. But I don't know. We'll see. But it's a beautiful plant. It's getting really tall. But I'm just like, oh, I should have been eating this all year. Like I should have been harvesting the lower leaves. But I'm just gonna let it live and do what it wants. And then I'm gonna bring it into the greenhouse for winter, I think. Because that makes sense to me. Or throw a frost sheet over it. But yeah, it's really big. It's getting bigger. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's tall. It's very structural. It's shading out these plants over here, but it's fine. My feeble attempt to keep the beets, or to keep the birds from eating all of my beets. So, yeah, I've got, this is Chinese cabbage, or Michelle, I think is the variety, and then I think I did Detroit red beets in here. So this is beets and cabbage. And hopefully we will get some beets and cabbage and protect them from the birds. This has a hole in it already because, of course, hello, spider friend. But yeah, this is to keep the birds from eating all of the starts because they've been eating all the nice young tender greens. This is celery. We got lots of stuff going on. Because you have to. A greenhouse. These are not as happy, but these are sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes. I'm just trying to grow in a pot as an experiment because I grow my potatoes in pots and thought it would be easy. This is 1,000 head kale. So this is growing in here. It's not nearly as impressive as I would have expected, but I also did grow like a bunch of carrots in the base, and there is chives that were in this bucket. So it's definitely competing for resources, and you can see that like I got attacked by birds and caterpillars and things. So, but it's okay. Same thing, 1,000 head kale that I transplanted out. It's not doing very well. It's fine. Nona beans that are taking over the world and starting to set beans. So I need to ask my friend who sent me these if these are supposed to be for fresh eating or for shelling, because I don't know. The hilarity and the awkwardness that is a San Marzano tomato sucker that I was going to root and transplant out and then forgot. Same thing for a Sweet 100 and then forgot. Nero de Toscana, that big old fly. Yeah, things are happening. More coriander that has finished. So this one, because it's inside, I can harvest this today and then we can use this as a spice. So that was my plan. So I'm trying to grow our spices. We have mustard seed and the fennel and the coriander. So yeah, we'll see. It smells good. Hopefully it will taste good. But yeah, just when your herbs bolt, sometimes you just end up with a secondary spice instead of garbage. So see if this sprout will be good. Back there's an Armenian yard long. We've got pepper plants and ginger and chaos. Because chaos. Yellow pear tomatoes. I don't particularly like the way these taste, but my daughter likes them because they're yellow. Melon, and so she likes to eat foods based on color sometimes. Yeah, what else is going on? Yellow pepper, Brussels sprout, some Thai basil, purple basil that's flowering and never did well underneath these kale colettes. So it's a cross between a kale and a Brussels sprout. So I've been looking forward to these all year, and they're starting to bud up. So we should have some for the fall and winter. We'll have lots of brassicas this fall, which we have lots of brassicas all year round. And we've got bees buzzing, cayenne pepper, and I need to come in here and water because this one's looking thirsty. This is lemon basil, which smells awesome and is great in tea. So, yeah. No, I don't know if you can see the butterfly that just landed on the lilacs outside. Eggplants. They're not dead. It's very exciting. It got cold last night. Nope. Yeah, so we got all these butterflies on the lilacs. Hi. Hi. Yeah. You're welcome here. Hello. But yeah, I don't know if you can see that they're just eating all of the sugar and dew out of the lilacs. And I am very close to these guys, which is good that they trust me not to mess with them. So just, yep. Perspective. Like how far away I am from the butterflies. Yeah. Some more broccoli that I planted, another colette, some summer cabbages that got messed up, a snail eating my garlic, and then just a bunch of carrots. And there used to be spinach in there, but I think a snail came in and ate it all, or maybe a bird. Who knows? But yeah. All right, I'm gonna feed the chickens and start my chicken. And it is only it's almost 70 in the greenhouse, right? Like, yeah, it's a little under 70, a little under 20 Celsius in the greenhouse. So yeah, that's August 22nd in Sweden, where in the full sun greenhouse it's not even 70. This is why I have trouble growing my summer crops that I'm used to growing in the States. Good morning, chickens. Hello. So, on that note, thanks for watching.